Hi everyone, this is going to be my third and final video looking at the problems I've had with these TRN BT20X Bluetooth earpiece adapters. I quite like these when they're working well, they sound really nice, but I've developed a problem, and the problem is what I've now determined is digital clipping coming in from very loud tracks. If you saw my previous two videos, in the first one I sort of explained the problem I was having with this, and the second one I did some research into how they were connecting to the Mac and looked at what the connection information seemed to show, but I couldn't recreate the problem. Today I've recreated the problem, and I thought it was being recreated because I had used them to make a phone call. But it turns out that wasn't the issue. It was in fact the track that my playlist had popped up at the time, which is, let me just look it up here so I get it right. Hold That Line, that's from the Tedeschi Trucks Band. But it has, and I noticed it when I looked into, sorry for the scratching of the mouse, Sound Source on my Mac, which is an app that lets you switch sounds, it lets you do equalization. Very nice, well recommended. Worth, I don't know, I think they charge for it, but not very much. But worthwhile, good for equalization on a Mac, which is nice to have. But yeah, when I looked at that, I noticed that the volume coming out of music was into the red, so it was sitting right at the top of the digital file number, and it's like, but that maybe is why they're sounding odd. So what I did is I dropped the gain, again using Sound Source, but I could have done it just in music. I dropped the gain by 5 or 10% and the problem went away. So then I flipped it over to my phone, which I'd show you, but I'm using it to record this right now, and I played the same track on my phone. So reconnected these to the phone, played the same track on my phone, heard the same distortion, which I now I'm convinced is digital clipping. And then I was like, well, you can't just, on the iPhone, you can't just drop the volume of one application like you can on a computer, and I think you can in Android phones, maybe. I don't know, I haven't had one for a long time. Or an Android tablet, I've never had an Android phone. So what I thought is, okay, what I'll do is I will turn on, let me just make sure I get the name of this right. I turned on sound check, right? And what sound check does is sound check attempts to equalize the volume level of the tracks in your playlist. And what it'll do is it'll turn up the quiet ones a little bit, and it'll drop down the loud ones. And my reasoning was, if this one is right up at the peak, it's going to get turned down a little bit. And that solved the problem, and the distortion went away. So, where does that leave us with these things? Actually, it's a fine workaround for use on the go. Sound check on is, or playing in the car actually, sound check is fairly useful. However, I don't like using it all that much. I tend to keep it shut off. Let's listen to stuff as it was recorded. But again, sound check is, as I said, you're listening to it casually, sound check on is often a good idea. So I don't really have a problem with that. On the computer, the workaround is easy. You know, just turn down the volume in the application that's generating the sound a little bit, and it shouldn't be a problem. But I haven't noticed this problem with other devices on the same track, you know. This is the one that I've used as a comparison mostly. This is a FiO BTR3K, I think. What does it say on the back? Probably, but I can't read it right now. Anyway, this has not been a problem. I haven't noticed it with other Bluetooth devices. I do think it's an implementation error here, or maybe it's a compatibility issue. There may be an implementation error on the Mac's end as well. So the workaround, if you're experiencing distortion with these things, especially with loud tracks, is to turn down the volume in the application if it's possible. So this isn't the master volume, it's the application volume. The master volume is telling these how loudly to play, but what you want to do is you want to, remove those bits that are causing problems. So you want to turn down the numerical data that's being given to them, not the how loud you're supposed to play signal that they're getting separately. So that's one part of it. And if you're on an iPhone, the easiest way to do that, and it would probably work on the computer as well, is to turn on sound check in Apple Music or whatever. Where does that place these things? Are they a buy or not? I mean, it's possible that there's just one group of these that has a firmware problem which is causing that issue. The others may not. I noticed a couple of people have reported online the problem that I've had, including in the comments on one of the videos which I've taken down about these where I recommended them. I think they're probably not a buy at the moment. TRN has a new model which is only a few dollars more than these, which is the 30XS, which may fix that problem, so maybe that's the one. There are other inexpensive versions, and of course you can go to FIO or FIO. So two I's always seem like FIO to me, but I've heard it pronounced both ways. But if you're willing to spend a little more money, that's probably the name brand, to the extent that there is something like that in this space. That said, with the fix, these are back again to being pleasant enough, and I probably will just continue using them until I feel the urge to buy something new. Oh well, hope this whole thing has been helpful to somebody. I'm sorry to say, maybe try something else. Thanks for watching.